In January 1951, an airplane touched down in the Middle East. On board sat one of the rising stars of archaeology, an academic discipline then undergoing a renaissance of new scientific methods, pioneered by such scholars as the Egyptologist Flinders Petrie, as well as a revolution in scholarship ushered in by the implementation of radiocarbon dating, a technique which allowed researchers to accurately date their findings for the first time. Unlike archaeologists of the previous generation, perhaps best exemplified by Heinrich Schliemann, the swashbuckling discoverer of Troy, whose methods essentially amounted to bulldozing through ancient cities in search of information, much of which was discovered, though untold more lost forever. This new corps of scholars sought to meticulously uncover sites from the top down, whilst causing as little damage as possible. That archaeologist was Kathleen Kenyon, a student of the famous Sir Mortimer Wheeler and daughter of the director of the British Museum. Kenyon had been called in to the shores of the Dead Sea to investigate a particularly interesting and controversial site. For this wasn't the first time the city of Jericho had been excavated. 20 years earlier, fellow British archaeologist John Garstang had undertaken a 6-year investigation of the site, eventually surmising it to be the site of the famed walls from the Old Testament, destroyed by the Israelite Joshua with a trumpet. Though still associated with this story today, Garstang's conclusions received fairly heavy criticism, and finally, by 1951, with the chaos of the Second World War somewhat subsided, Kenyon had been called in to make her own conclusions.